Join me now by Skype from New York City is Matthew Schmitz, senior editor at First Things, a religious journal. Matthew, is releasing the names of clergy members who are credibly accused a step in the right direction?
Absolutely. There are more steps to be taken. One of those steps is addressing the fact that right now we're only getting the names of clergymen, for the most part, who are accused of abusing minors. A lot of abuse occurs where the victims are legal adults. And that's kind of been swept under the rug. We talk a lot about pedophilia. That ignores the issue that often these are cases dealing with sexually mature people, usually young men or older boys. And it'd be good to see that expanded. And another issue is the question of, what does credibility mean? Is this merely a way for bishops to avoid liability, or has there been a real substantial judgment of credibility, or are good men being lumped in with bad? So I would say it is a good step, but there's a lot more to do.
Okay, so the faithful have been waiting for details about the Vatican, about the summit on abuse in February. Today we heard the Vatican is urging bishops to meet with victims before coming to Rome. What's your reaction to that?
It's a good idea. But Wyatt, I have to tell you that I'm skeptical about this abuse summit at the Vatican, simply because, whatever the consultation is, ultimately the new measures will be put into place by the people who are running the Vatican. They've been there for 5 years. They have a track record. I don't think it's a strong one. The main focus of this pontificate has been mercy, and a lot of people have welcomed that. It's been very good. But when it comes to abuse cases, I think we've seen the downside of a focus on mercy. In 2012, we had Don Mercedes, Mauro Anzoli, an Italian priest who was accused of abusing young boys. The Congregation of Doctrine and Faith recommended that he be defrocked. Francis did not take that recommendation at the urging of certain influential friends of Anzoli's. We know that in certain things that have been submitted to Francis, his own words on mercy have actually been quoted, and he recommended a lighter sentence. After that, in 2015, we saw that Anzoli was attending a conference on family in Lombardy. And then Anzoli was later convicted in an Italian criminal court of abuse of 5 different minors, an ugly story. And so we've seen how it's good to put protocols in place. It's good to say we're going to have new strict rules. But if there's a prevailing ethos that downplays protocols, downplays rules, and says we're going to do it in a personal and propository way, that can lead to bad outcomes.
Well, just to follow up on that, on the pontificate issue, as you know, Pope Francis is under pressure and scrutiny, and many Catholics have high expectations for this summit. In your view, what can he get done, if anything, in the 3 days that will satisfy the faithful who are angry?
I would say if we see that real action is being taken, that people are being held accountable, that justice is occurring as well as mercy, then the faithful will be satisfied. Even if not much happens in that 3-day meeting, it'll be fine if people walk away from that, and the men who are actually running the Vatican, ultimately they're going to walk away from that meeting and decide what they want to do. If they then start taking a harder line, similar to what we saw under Benedict XVI, that would be good. Benedict took a bit of a harder line than Francis has. He took a harder line than JP2 did. It was not a perfect line, not at all. But it was a harder line. It'd be good to move back toward that.
Okay, we'll continue to follow this. I know that abuse is a tough thing for a lot of Catholics to talk about, but it is important that we bring all this to light. Matthew Schmitz, senior editor at First Things. Thanks so much for talking with us.
Thank you, Wyatt.